Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Champagne Fountain. That is the Guns and Yellow Ribbons preview podcast. We're all in a fantastic mood today, as we should be. We'll talk about last night's game against mid-table United, and then look ahead and preview this weekend's football with a special attention, of course, to the mighty Arsenal.
Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. This is your Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Enjoy the show.
Evening, Trevor. How are we? I know you're the hostess with the mostest on the Champagne podcast. Where have you come with that one?
Fountain.
Champagne
God, why do I bother? Ferg, listen, mate, we're all buzzing. I'm knackered. I didn't get home till 1:30 this morning. Them 8:15 kickoffs are just no damn good. No damn good at all. Ferg, I'm going to come back to you, but firstly, Andrew, welcome. Is it the first time you've done the preview podcast, mate?
First time on the preview show, mate. Yeah, really good. Yeah, looking forward to tonight. So it'll be a different spin on what we've done the last few weeks. So yeah, happy days and still buzzing from last night. And I've still got no voice, which is even better. So I will be supping on the beer as we go.
Just as it should be. Ferg, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm a little bit tired as well. I didn't have as far to go to you guys, but I did pop around to my brother's afterwards while I allowed the crowds at Arsenal tube station go down. So had a beer and a bit of food, but it still was nearly 12:30 by the time I got home as well. So yeah,
I bet you that was miserable, mate, being with two Mancs. Hey, I bet you had a really torrid time, didn't you? Hey.
Oh, I tell you what, I've had the Arsenal corner flag crest. I've even got I had this shared with me. I'd look, corners, goals from corners. Who cares how you get the goals? It doesn't matter. We play bloody good football. We're not Salford United. The tactics from Man United yesterday in the first half were good. They controlled us, but the time wasting, the stuff was awful. Go on. Sorry, Trev.
I don't know who put it in the group, but they're bang on. So someone needs to remind them that their biggest night of their lives was when they scored with 2 goals from corners. I don't know who put it on, but it's perfect. So they can show.
It is true. It is true.
Right. We don't need to talk about mid-table United all night, do we? Because every team's jealous of us at the moment because we found ourselves a damn fine set piece coach in Jova. He's worked out how to score more goals for set pieces, and we're doing just that. And people are going to be jealous, and we're going to get loads and loads and loads and loads of grief for as long as we keep scoring them. And I just hope the grief continues to the end of the season. I honestly do. Ferg, what a night, eh? What was it? It was a 500th game at the Emirates, wasn't it, mate?
It was the 500th game. Sorry, I got some audio on my ears. I didn't want it. It's a 500th game at the Emirates, and it was quite fitting that it was against rivals that we've had such battles with over the years, both at Highbury, at Old Trafford, and at the Emirates, and to beat them. It's now going to be 7 years, 7 seasons since they've beaten us at the Emirates. So another one. You know what? The one thing I would say though, Trev, at least they did prepare. They did try and practice corners. This is them before the game, practicing corners, and they still couldn't defend them.
It was hilarious, wasn't it? I mean, that video of Maguire trying to defend our first goal is it's comically funny. It really is. It really is comically funny. Are you going to take over doing the comments for me, Ferg? And
yeah, we'll do, mate. Yeah,
leave me just to waffle on. But listen, right, we're going to talk for 5 minutes about last night's game, and then we'll move on and talk about the weekend, what we've got coming up, what could turn out to be a massive weekend all around. Ferg, I went into the game against Man United last night knowing we wouldn't lose. It has become a bit of a habit, hasn't it, not losing to Man United? I thought they did well first half, Man United. I thought they kept us in our place a bit. We looked a bit devoid of ideas at times even. But I don't know what Arteta said to him at half time, Andrew. But boy, did they come out firing, mate.
Oh, completely different, wasn't it? I mean, I think we were talking about it on the concourse, wasn't we? We just didn't lack that urgency to go forward, and the play was slow, and they played a 3-4-3, and we just couldn't break it down. Even changing the formation. But yeah, whatever we changed at half time was absolutely awesome, because that ball was moving, zipping around so quick, and they just couldn't cope with us.
No.
Yeah, it's superb.
And Ferg, we've got to remember, mate, that we scored from 2 set pieces, but we got those set pieces because we had incredible pressure on them in the second half. We were moving the ball well, pinning them back, and the pressure got us corners, and the rest is history, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, we had 13 corners against none of that. They had none. We had 36 touches in the opposition box, which is threats and opportunities to try and score goals. They had 6. I think what Amarin set up and the change of formation that Amarin did really did have an impact on us in the first half. That 4-3-2-1, 4-3-3, or whatever way they play, really did struggle. There was always a man left over to receive the ball. They could switch play quite easily, and we did struggle. Well, we couldn't break them down very well in the first half, and as you said, second half we came out and we changed. We changed up a little bit, and then the set pieces were great. I have got the goals. Do you want me to press the button on the goals?
Absolutely. Press the button on the goals. Keep the sound off, though. Come on, so we don't get cut off.
Yeah, let's go for that one. Well, let's get in the net this time. The big front of the bag. Far post. Far post in. There it is.
I don't know if that's somebody in the crowd doing those instructions, or if that's some other players on the side. But hearing the screaming of the players there, it sounds like that's the players talking, Trev.
I don't know. That's right in front. Did you film that, Ferg? Because that's right where you are.
Score Guide filmed that. I took it off his Twitter.
Right,
Thank you, Score Guy.
All right then, mate. Yeah, I mean, Rice taking the corner there. I thought Rice was absolutely off the scale last night. Andrew, I thought he covered every blade of grass on the pitch, mate.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he was phenomenal last night. He was well up for that, and he looked like he was up for it the minute he walked out on the pitch as well, because you could just tell, and straight had that aura about him that that he was well up for it. And I don't know about you, but when North London Forever went on at the beginning, that's the ball had kicked off and we were still singing, and and that is, it just kind of just rose, really got everybody going for me. I think the crowd sort of dwindled away a little bit in the first half just because I think United were pushing us, but second half, I mean, we were phenomenal. But Rice all night, every single cross was absolutely pinpoint, wasn't it? I mean, that
Absolutely.
one there. I mean, you look at the bend on that ball as well. It's unreal.
They normally you see 1 or 2 corners drop a bit short, don't you? But I think every corner they took last night dropped right on a sixpence, right where we wanted it to drop, and it did. It caused havoc in Man United's defence, absolutely havoc. Ferg, Andrew mentions North London Forever. I was wondering whether they're going to actually play it last night, because they moved it, didn't they?
I don't think they moved it. There was a lot. I've actually got the North London Forever here. Actually, 1 second. Well, we'll play that at the end, maybe.
Yeah, but no, they did, mate, because they started it just before kickoff, so that once the team kicked off, like a lot of other teams do, we finished the song while the game was going on. I thought it was so loud.
I didn't know if that was the tactic that they were trying, or whether it was the stadium announcers been doing more to build atmosphere and stuff like that, and he was going Urian, and everyone's going Timber, and he go Urian, Timber, and for every player he was double announcing and getting the crowd going, which did help get the atmosphere started in the first half. I must admit, the atmosphere of the first half wasn't as good as in the second half. It's always better when it plays towards the North Bank anyway, normally. But the North London Forever was really, really loud. Do you want me to play it?
Yeah, well, no, but save it till the end, mate. Save it till the end, because I don't want to overkill it twice. But do you know what? I mean, we've had some niggle about that announcer, haven't we? But I think he's doing a good job, mate, with what he's doing. Don't you, Andrew?
I do. I think he's doing a good job. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be one of the difficult jobs, hasn't it? I mean, you've got the team are coming out. You've got to get that crowd riled up, ready to go for when they walk out. And I think playing it where he did last night, if it was a mistake or it was delayed or whatever, but I think it was perfect for the crowd to still be going when the ball was kicked off was brilliant. But I quite like it. I think it just brings a bit more of an atmosphere to it.
Yeah, I thought it was even louder, to be honest. And I'll tell you something else I saw, Ferg, and I don't know, well, you might have seen it today. There's a right brotherhood starting to form amongst our players, and even more so our defence, I think. I think they're becoming proud of their record and proud to defend, and they just don't want to give a goal away at all. When Kivior came, I thought Kivior was superb last night, by the way. But when Kivior came off, who was waiting to meet him? Gabriel and Calafiori, to give him a big hug and a big thank you. And I thought there's signs of a brotherhood there. Isn't that important, Ferg, to keep our team going?
It's huge. Team spirit, all together. We're all in the same bus. That's Arteta through and through. And he's got rid of the people who don't want to be a collective like that. And I think the leadership, even from Gabriel, maybe his language isn't the best, but his leadership and demonstration to people is absolutely outstanding. Saliba got one of his rare goals that he did. But as Danny said in the chat, I'll put the picture up and then I'll put Danny's comment up. As Danny said in the chat, let's go to that comment. I love the fact that 3 United defenders marked each other and allowed our Rolls Royce to score. But look, they look like
I like that.
They look like they've shit themselves. They're scared of the ball or whatever.
It does. And before anyone says anything about it going in for his backside, it can go in. He can fart it into the net for me. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Trevor, you did say on last night, I don't care. I'll take 1-0 if it goes in off somebody's arse. Yeah. And we got 2-0. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, we've seen some celebrations. See anybody here that we recognise? There you go, Saliba celebrating. United upset. We might. Theo!
There he is. Look at him. I love to see that. That's the future. That's the future.
He literally last night. So it's one of those proud dad moments last night. He stood there with me, and he's like literally every time the songs where his arms are up and he's singing and he's punching the air and he's really going for it. And it's like just to see that being caught on there is absolutely brilliant. It's he was probably one of those top nights last night where I knew he was in there and he knew he wanted to win it, and it was just what a reaction from it. It was great.
Fantastic. Amazing. Listen, boys, one more thing before we move on to the weekend's fixtures. 79 minutes gone, right? And I'm thinking, we're 2-0 up, but it's Man United. Anything could happen still. We still need to be careful. And then I look across, right? And Man United are bringing on their 80th minute sub, the person they've got to rely on to try and turn around a 2-0, deficit. And I look across and it's Anthony. And in that moment, I let a sigh of breath out. I thought, well, that's it. We've won. It's game over. We've won. And there were Arsenal fans around me actually celebrating the fact that Anthony was coming on because they thought, this is it. We've won, Ferg.
To be also Rashford as well, who should have started against us because he was one of the few players that I feared. The fact that he didn't start just shows that. Listen, the whole feel about United felt wrong. I've been calling them Salford United all night. It was probably an insult to Salford. But if you look like when De Ligt got injured and he went down on the pitch, and Onana's trying to drag him up to get him on the pitch to delay the restart, and he's gone, I'm injured, leave me alone. And he went back down again. And then Onana goes to pick up the ball to go on the pitch, and Maguire comes off the pitch and chucks a ball onto the pitch. It was that sort of really, really low level. And there was a bit of needle between all the players. There was you didn't get the Gabriel Kivior sort of feeling between the players.
No.
Among the United side.
Mate, they absolutely remind me of where we were 5 or 6 years ago. Either players not enough quality, players not bothering, no team bonding. They're in a massive hole, Manchester United, and they're going to have to buy big because they have no quality. Thank the Lord we dodged Højlund. Thank the Lord we dodged Marcus Højlund. Yeah. What would we have done now? We'd have been crying now. Would have been,
Last point on the United game. Arteta's the first manager to win 4 successive league games against Man United. We've had Wenger, we've had George Graham, we've had all those managers over the years. He's the first manager to have 4 successive wins against United.
And
Do you
I'll
know
tell you
as
what,
well?
Ferg,
Go on.
I tell you what, boys, they got away lucky last night, because if Partey puts that easy chance away early in the game,
Off his shoulder.
we win by plenty. I'm telling you, their edge went down when we scored. If we'd have scored that early chance with Partey, we win that game by plenty. That's not saying that Thomas Partey didn't have a good game, because I thought he did. I thought he was excellent in support of Rice.
I didn't actually. I thought
Really?
Rice was outstanding, and when Jorginho came on, I thought we improved.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't one of Partey's best games.
Right,
I know
we'll
we've
fall
all-
out over. We'll fall out
I've
over
been
that
critical
another
of
time.
that.
I'm not falling out over a night on an evening when we've just beaten the mid-table United 2-0. Sorry, Andrew, I'll cut you off then, mate.
No, don't worry, mate. So I'm just going to say, you know, like we've been critical of Arteta a couple of times, not lots. I'm not going to criticise him. You know, for reacting to substitutions and things. I thought last night, as soon as there's Rashford got past Zinchenko and Zinchenko got booked, to make that substitution for bring Mourinho on, push Timber back out was absolutely brilliant, because it shut Rashford down straight away, and you didn't see him again the minute that was done. It was absolutely superb.
Yeah. Right. Listen, boys, we're over a quarter of an hour in, right, and we want to keep it to an hour tonight if we can. So let's start. Let's start looking at this weekend ahead. Right, it's a massive weekend. It's one of them weekends where if the results go our way, we close the gap again. You know, first game of the weekend, Merseyside derby, Everton at home to Liverpool. Form goes out the window, doesn't it, Ferg?
Yeah, it's the last ever Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. The Everton fans are going to be up. Kevin Campbell will be looking down upon them and cursing anybody in red. Everton won the game 2-0 in April, this game, and Liverpool lost the exact same fixture, as we said, 2-0, but ended their 12-game unbeaten run. Could we have a repeat in the offing? I don't know. I think Liverpool are quite good. Everton, convincing last night, but unconvincing at the weekend. They're so up and down, so hot and cold. I've gone for a 2-2 draw, Trev.
Ferg, I still think that Liverpool are going to have a period where they don't do very well. I still think that their midfield can be beaten by a good midfield. But as we said just now, in this game, form goes out the window. You've nailed it, I reckon, Ferg. The passion of Everton being at home, the passion of it being the last Merseyside derby ever to be played at Everton. I honestly think Everton have got a chance, don't you, Andrew?
Oh, I do. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, again, you Merseyside derby, you can't call it. You know, it's and you look at the first, it's Arne Slot's first Merseyside derby, and you know, Liverpool don't have a great sort of history with managers doing their first one. I think the only Reds boss won their first Merseyside derby was Kenny Dalglish. So, you know, when we know how that was, I think 1985, I think I saw it before earlier on. So it's not, you know, history doesn't bode well for them, does it, on that one? But if Everton can't get up for this and give them a game and, you know, get a result to turn their season, then they can't, you know, they won't do. As long as they just turn it this week and then the week after don't bother, that'll be great.
So what's your score prediction, mate?
Do you know what? I'm going to go with, I'm going 2-2. I'm going to
2-2.
I am.
Right. Listen, I'm going to let my heart roll my head here. We don't want Liverpool getting anything out of this game. I have got a soft spot for Everton. I do think they'll be absolutely flying in this game and coming off of a 4-0 win, remember. So I'm going to go for Everton to win it 1-0. I know that I'm clutching at straws, but I don't care. I'm going for Everton to win it 1-0. Listen, we've got lots of people watching live. Please put your predictions in the chat. It's good to get some other perspective on what us three think. But so please put them in the chat. Moving on then. Villa at home to Southampton. Villa have been awful lately. How did they get on last night, by the way?
3-1.
I can't remember how they got on. Anyway, Villa haven't been in the best run of form, and Southampton are just struggling for fun. Ferg, I can't see Southampton getting anything out of this. Can you?
Beat Brentford 3-1.
They got the lowest points. They got the witness in 14 games. They were unlucky against Liverpool. They should have had. They should have had a penalty against Liverpool, and they had a goal disallowed against them against Brighton VAR, which I disagree with. Villa are unbeaten in 6 games at home in the Premier League. Villa aren't doing great. Okay, yeah, they did win last night, but they've really struggled of late, and they've hit a bit of a wall after a really strong start to the season. Europe has probably taken its toll, as we've said before when Dan was on here before. So I do think Villa will be better than Southampton. I do think Villa will beat Southampton, but I don't think it's going to be a massive scoreline. I've gone for 1-0 to Villa.
1-0 to Villa.
By the way, if people are on Twitter, you can. Danny's on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. You can. Oh no, not Facebook, but you can put your scores regardless of what platform you're on.
Lovely. Why didn't I think of saying that, Ferg? Why didn't I think of saying that? That's why you're our honourable leader, and I'm just a champagne Charlie. You know what I mean? Anyway,
With a champagne fountain.
Champagne.
Andrew, listen. I think Villa are knackered. I honestly do. And it wouldn't. I fancy Southampton's luck to change a bit and maybe get a point out of this game. Andrew, what do you reckon?
They're starting to turn, aren't they, Southampton? They're starting, there's a few bits starting to go their way, and I think they've had a dreadful start to the season. I just can't see them getting past Villa. I just think Villa, with Watkins at the top, I know he's not scored as many, but he's been involved in 10 goals in the last 5 Premier League appearances. I'm going Villa 2-1.
Villa 2-1.
I think Villa are going to do it.
Yeah, I can see that. But do you know what? I'm going to stick with me, Ed, and say it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I just fancy Southampton's luck to change, and Villa need to be a bit. Well, Villa don't. Emery needs to be a bit careful, though, don't they? Because there's been a few rumblings. I think it's a bit too soon. I don't agree with that, but there's definitely been some rumblings at Villa that they've not done so well recently.
Well, I didn't realise they've conceded 23 goals. I didn't realise that. Crikey.
Yeah, got a crap goalkeeper, haven't they?
They have, haven't they?
Yeah. Listen, Brentford v Newcastle. Newcastle are going to be buzzing after last night's game, aren't they? But Brentford had a win as well. I can't split this in my head. I'm thinking, I can make a reason for it going either way here. I honestly can. Andrew, what do you reckon, mate?
I'm going to Brentford. I like Brentford. I must admit, I just think they got a habit of turning up for some games, haven't they? And then surprising everybody. And Newcastle have come off, a result. And I just think, but in my head, I am going Brentford 3-1.
3-1. Not even
3-1.
Not even close then, yeah. I mean, yeah, Brentford have, under Thomas Franks, they are capable of beating anybody on their day, aren't they? They really are. I can't get it out of my head that Newcastle will be buzzing after last night, Ferg. What way are you going, mate?
Well, Newcastle have kept 1 clean sheet in 13 away games in London against London sides. They've shipped 26 goals, and they've conceded at least 2 goals, at least twice in 8 out of 10 of the last games in the capital. Brentford are winless against Newcastle, but I think Newcastle have given their all against Liverpool. They should have won against Liverpool. They should have had a penalty in the dying moments of that against Liverpool. I think Newcastle will concede the 2 goals again. And I think Brentford under Thomas Franks at home, following a defeat to Villa, I think they're going to come back bouncing at home because they are very strong at home. And I think it's going to go 3-2 to Brentford.
3-2 to Brentford. Nice high scoring one then, Ferg. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw again. Second game in a row, 2-2 draw. Both teams capable of scoring goals. Newcastle buzzing after last night. Brentford great at home. I'm not going to split them. I'm going to go 2-2. So now, right, this game is important for us, as we know, as a football club at the Arsenal. Palace v Man City. Man City stopped the barren run last night, didn't they? They overcame and won for the first time in, 5 or 6 games?
Yeah.
But was that a one-off? Or are they going to win again at Palace, who are capable of a decent result, but not regularly? Ferg, what way is it going, mate?
Glasner, when he first came to Palace, he was doing quite well. He won 5 of the first 7 Premier League games, and drawing 1, losing 1. And now when you look at their 7 games at Selhurst Park this season, They've drawn 3 and lost 3. They got the super striker Eddie Nketiah, who hasn't got off the mark as of yet.
Stop it.
I know, I can't help it. I didn't like him when he was with us anyway. But I think this is the perfect tonic to add to City's win last night. It's going to be an away win. It's going to be Palace 0, still no goals from Palace, and 2 to Manchester City.
Oh, do you know what? That is one result we could do without it, because the more space we put between us and City, the better, you know. So I don't know, I reckon Palace might be able to get something out of the game, Andrew.
Yeah, I do. I mean, you know, Mateta loves playing against City, doesn't he? You know, he's scored in his last 2 Premier League appearances against them, but no Palace player scored 3 times against City. So, you know, there's something there we can look at too. City have lost their last 5 away games in all competitions. I think if Palace can start, I mean, I watched them the other week, and you know, it's on TV, and they started off so quick, and they just kind of lost their footing in the game a little bit. But I think the way City are, they're still quite fragile. I was listening to some of them on the radio this morning saying, you know, how like they're back now because Grealish is going to play in the middle, and that's where he should be, and stuff. But you know, to me, it's just putting plasters over things that's not working. But I think Palace are going to get a result, and I'm going to go for Palace 1, City 1.
Do you know what, Andrew? I'm glad you said that, because I'm absolutely with you, mate. Absolutely with you. I think Eze is going to have a bit more match fitness in his legs because he's been out for a bit. And Nketiah is going to absolutely shine against City. You know, City will still have in the back of their heads that they've been struggling. I think Palace might nick something out of this game. I really do. I'm going to go for 1-0 as well, Andrew. I am. And let's hope that we're right and Ferg's wrong.
Andrew went 1-1.
1-1.
Oh, 1-1. Andrew, did you? I thought you said 1-0. I
can't. Haaland's going to score, isn't he? I mean, you know, he scored. I think he scored every game against Palace, and you know, stuff. I can see him scoring, but they're so fragile at the back at the moment, and just all over the show. Palace will score. I'm going 1-1. Sorry, Trev.
Sorry, mate. I thought you said 1-0. But anyway, 1-1. I'm going for 1-0 to Palace because I don't like Man City. I don't like Erling Haaland. I don't like Pep Guardiola. I don't like anything about. I don't like their fans. I don't like anything
anybody
about Man City. So I hope they lose. And I'm going 1-0 to Palace. Right, listen, right. This next one, it's a bit boring, really, isn't it? Is mid-table v mid-table. Mid-table United didn't Wrighty do his job last night, eh? Didn't Ian Wright do his job winding Keane up last night?
Did he? Keane was not happy, was he?
Oh my Lord. I thought Keane was going to offer him the car park. I honestly did.
Did Keane do this to him?
He just sat there.
Gary Neville looked very upset, didn't he? It was great.
Gary Neville.
Did you watch the overlap with them in Istanbul when they're doing all the taking the nose hair out and everything else? It was hilarious.
No, I don't watch them only when I have to. So that was on social media today. But Keane was called in righty childish or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Or calling mid-table United. Well, the fact of the matter is they are mid-table. You know, they're not a top club in the country at the moment. They will be again one day. So they're a mid-table team. Mid-table United v mid-table Forest. Who's going to win it, Andrew?
Forest.
Yeah?
Ooh, I'm going Forest. Yeah,
Forest,
I am.
Old Trafford.
Yeah, I am. Do you know what? I think I really like watching Forest. I think that, you know, going forward, they've got some power going forward, haven't they? I mean, Chris Wood's on form. He's flying. And he's, you know, if he gets, and he's going to be, he's any force for anybody in the air. I just can't see United getting up for him. I mean, are the other Trafford crowd going to start turning a little bit? I mean, we're on the try and go back to King's Cross last night. We unfortunately on the picked the wrong tube, didn't we? We got on the one with a load of United fans in the carriage, so we were listening to all them rumbling away. And you know, I couldn't believe it. I was laughing. I had to kind of put my head down like because I was laughing. One of them was already shouting for him to be sacked. I was like, he said, he's great, it's not working, he's got to go. He said, he's not the right man for us. He's not. I'm thinking he's played for what, 3-4 games?
That's his first to be
there already.
Was you on the Victoria line, Andrew?
No, it was on the Piccadilly going back.
Piccadilly line, because then the Man United fans would have had to change then to get the train back down to Surrey, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely, mate. Yeah, well, they weren't going far. One of them was only on for 3 lines and he got off. So I wonder where he was going.
He's
But,
local.
he was he was a local. Yeah, you knew where he was going. Yeah,
It was actually quite funny. You know, when we all started singing, "You only live round the corner, live round the corner." I turned to Dan and I said, "That's my brothers." And Rory does literally live round the corner.
He does. He comes out of his front door and has a view of the Marble Halls, doesn't he? I'm
Yeah, he
very
does.
jealous of him.
Oh,
Very
no, that
jealous.
would be nice to walk out every 2, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, what these Man United fans have got to remember, and what Roy Keane's got to remember as well, is that when the boot's on the other foot, we take it and we take it on the chin, and it does our heads in, but we take it. So, Mr. Keane and the Man United fans, and in fairness, Man United fans ain't been too bad over it. I think they know they're struggling and they're keeping their heads down, just as I would, to be honest. So, Andrew, you reckon Forest?
I am. I'm going 2-1 Forest. And I tell you where it's come from. My mate is a massive, where I am, I'm, on the Nottinghamshire border, and there's quite a few of the tricky trees around here. And he's called the last 2 games, and he's gone 2-1. So I'm going to stick with him and go 2-1 Forest.
Ferg, are you sticking with brotherly love, or are you going with Andrew?
I'm not going with Andrew. I'm like, it got a nice Chinese and a beer last night for free, so I gotta pay back in some way. Look, United have beaten Leicester and Everton. Leicester 3-0, Everton 4-0. I don't think they've scored 3 more goals since 2021, February 2021. So I don't think they'll score 3 goals this time. Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, conceded 3 goals against us and Man City. Forest, strangely enough, are higher up the table. They're 6th in the table against Man United's 11th. I think United will bounce back. I think being the home crowd and everything else, it was one of the harder ones to predict, if I'm honest. Really, really difficult one to predict because they're Forest are doing well. I've gone 2-1 to United.
See, it's an interesting point you make about the fans, Ferg, because when things are not going so well at Old Trafford, it can be deathly silent. It can be deathly silent, can't it? I mean, when we won there 1-0 last year, it was like the strangest, quiet atmosphere.
It wasn't. It was very noisy. All the Arsenal were singing.
Well, we didn't stop from start to finish. It was the best away
It's a
game.
bit quiet where I was.
Oh yeah, you were there.
You were in the box.
I was in the box in Man United. Yeah, I was like, so I had to get up and walk out when we scored. I was like, so I didn't start jumping around.
Nonetheless, listen, right, boys, I'm going to go with Ferg. I think Man United will be too good for Forest. I think they'll lift their game a bit. We'll see what this Amorim's made of. Now he's lost the game. We'll see what he can do to lift them in their home game. But
the game, they might actually get over the halfway line for a change.
Do you know what, Andrew? I was just going to say that. And they've not got to lift it a bit, have they? They've got to vastly improve. And I don't think that squad's got it in it to vastly improve. As I said just now, they really remind me of us a few years ago when we had a good performance in us and we could beat any team on our day, but that would probably happen twice a season. The rest of the time we looked awful. We had players not trying, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I think they've got a lot to do at Man United, but I think they're going to be too good for Forest. And I've actually gone one more than Ferg. I've gone 3-1 for Man United against Forest, only because I'm seeing me nephews and all that this weekend, and it'll be easier if I say Man United are going to win. But, yeah. Right. Listen, next one. I find this hard to call this next game, boys. Ipswich not doing a lot. Nicking draws, been unlucky in a couple of games against Bournemouth, who are flying at home, but I can't do a lot away from home. So I don't know, what way is you going to go, Ferg?
Well, it's the first time they've met in the top flight ever. Ipswich
versus
Bournemouth. Yeah, it's the very first 1,453 games. It says it's the 1,453rd fixture to be played in the English top division, Ipswich v Bournemouth. They've never met in the top division before. They've played loads of times in the lower leagues. Ipswich remain winless at home, even.
Homeless at home.
Homeless at home. Winless at home. I think Bournemouth are going to be knackered from their 4-0 victory that they're going to have tonight. I know they beat Bournemouth, beat Wolves 4-2 in the last game. I'm going to go the home crowd at Portman Road are going to rise above it. Bournemouth aren't going to have as much downtime and rest time, and I'm going 2-1 to Ipswich.
2-1 to Ipswich. Oh, I don't know. Andrew, I don't know. What way are you going, mate?
Well, the big one that sticks out for me is Ipswich have kept one clean sheet in 14 Premier League games, so they've conceded 20 goals in the first 9 games. However, recently they've only conceded 5 and 5. So are they starting? Is they're now starting to get used to where we are in the Premier League and sort of what they need to do. I really like Liam Delap as well up front. I think he gives them so much stuff up front. And the guy, is it a young lad from does he come from Leeds? It's Schmodix. Is he Ipswich, isn't it?
Yeah, it was Leeds. Yeah,
Leeds was it? Yeah. Again, I think you get those two going as well, and they can score some pretty special goals. Yeah, but Ipswich are what? So not even averaging a goal a game at the moment, which is against their 1.5. However, I do agree, having been to Portman Road when it gets raucous and it is a heck of an atmosphere, I do think that Ipswich will go and get a result because I think they're due one as well. So I'm going to go 2-1 Ipswich.
Really? You see, well, one point you've missed, boys. Fergus mentioned it, but I'm going to put the context another way because I think Bournemouth are going to hammer Tottenham tonight and they'll be absolutely buzzing when they go to Ipswich. Ipswich is an harder game than Tottenham, obviously, for Bournemouth. That goes without saying. But I think Bournemouth are going to smash Tottenham 3 or 4-0 tonight. And then they're going to go to Ipswich on a high at the weekend. And I think they'll win at Ipswich. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be 2-1 to Bournemouth. Last minute winner for Bournemouth. And Ipswich's luck doesn't continue. So who went I've gone for a Bournemouth win. Ferg, what did you go, mate?
Ipswich win 2-1, same as Andrew.
And Andrew's got Ipswich as well. So I stand alone. I stand alone. Hopefully I'll be right. I'm not off and on, but I stand alone. I've got Sky Sports News on in the background, Ferg, and they're doing it. I've not got the sound on, so I can't hear what they're saying, but they're all over. They're doing an interview with that Nottingham Forest owner, the chap that owns
the guy who gave me COVID when I went.
I nearly said Panathinaikos then. He'd send his boys around and lynch me if I linked him.
He would.
Yeah. He's Olympiakos, but it's all over it that Edu's going there. He's being interviewed about it and that. So I reckon he's tempted Edu away with the offer of another job, a challenging role. I don't know. And maybe he's going to pay him €1 or 2 as well, Ferg. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, you know my view when I do. He was great as an invincible, and he'll always have my respect as an Arsenal player, former player. He's done some bits, but I don't think he's done as much as people have said before. But I'll go no further than that.
Good, because I disagree with you. I think my take, as you know, is I don't know anything about who, how, what, or when the massive turnaround in our football team has come about. But I do know that Edu,
he was part of it for sure.
For sure. And more importantly for me, and people sometimes a lot of time disagreeing with this. The massive part for me was the Cronkies coming around and realising what it was like to own an English football club, and that is simply down to the Arsenal fans and their peaceful demonstrations at the Emirates. I think kicked them into gear and made them realise. Anyway, if you two haven't got anything to add to that, next one on the list: Leicester v Brighton. Borefest, Ferg?
I put it down as a bore fest. Leicester, I think, are very poor. Although they shocked me because whilst West Ham aren't great, they shocked me to see how they smashed West Ham earlier. Was it last Monday night? I think it was the Leicester West Ham game. Brighton are 1-0 down against Fulham as we speak. I would like to think that Brighton would win this, but I think Horseface and having his influence over Leicester and a new manager bounce and everything else, I've gone the same as Danny. I've gone for 1-1.
1-1. So you can't split them, Ferg. Danny can't split them. Andrew, can you split them?
Yeah, I can. I'm going to go. I'm going to go for Brighton to do this. I just don't think. I think Horseface will get them going. I think Leicester, I think he will, he'll do some with it, but not at the moment. I just think there's too much work to do in too much of a short space of time. Leicester are conceding averaging 2 goals per game. They're only scoring 1.3. And Brighton, Brighton have got 1.6. So I'm going to stick. And when I look at the goals where they've been the last few games, they've always been quite high scoring games, and it's funnily enough, it's going to the high score is the one I'm going to go for. So I'm going to go for Brighton 3-1.
Brighton 3-1. Wow. Listen, we talk about Horseface. I reckon that next time we come, I don't know next time we come up against Leicester, whether it's their place or ours, I don't really care. But
it's 15th of February. It's Lyle's birthday. It's my away day birthday. It's around then.
Oh, that's yeah. I'm sure he'll get a lovely welcome from the Arsenal fans, don't you?
Oh, I'm sure he will. Absolutely.
Yeah, he'll be welcomed with a Keown hug.
I actually can't wait to see the game. I think it'll be good. I think Van Nistelrooy will be worried about coming to and seeing the Arsenal fans because he knows what he's got coming. Anyway, listen. I think Brighton are going to be too good for Leicester. I think Brighton are going to win at Leicester. I'm just gone 2-1. I've not gone stupid, but Brighton are a better football team than Leicester at the moment. And that'll see it for me. That'll do. Listen, right. You knocked me off my speech a bit then because I'm looking down my list at the next game, right? And the next game is that lot up the road, right? At home to Chelsea. That lot up the road are hit and miss. We've got Ange Postecoglou saying he's not going to change the way that his team plays and sets up when he's been losing more than he's been winning. So that all goes well for his future, doesn't it?
Carry on.
And then, of course, we've got Chelsea, who are the shock team of the season for me. I had no idea they were going to play this well. I did not see it coming. Absolutely not. I thought they were going to really struggle. Big squad, new manager, no good. But Chelsea have proved us all wrong, and they're really firing, aren't they? So, Andrew, please don't tell me you can see anything other than the Chelsea win here, mate, please.
Absolutely not, Trev. There's no way I would disappoint. Even though I know you're on the side of the screen, there's no way I'm disappointing you with this one.
Fear. He knows he's only an hour's drive away.
It'll be on my doorstep within half an hour. I know it. No, I can't see Spurs getting anything out of this. Chelsea have won 35 Premier League games and scored 116 Premier League goals against Tottenham, more than any other opponent, and long may that continue. Spurs have conceded against the side no more than while they've only lost more than Man United's at 39 games. So, I think I'm just trying to think of how many it's going to be. To be fair, I'm quite happy to say for it to be 4, 5, 6. I don't care as long as they get beat. I'll be honest. Can I just go for a Chelsea win and then just have it as that, or do you want me to give you a score?
No, we want numbers, please.
4-0 Chelsea.
4-0 Chelsea. Well, that'll do for me. You're in the good books. Now, you see, sometimes, Andrew, this is where me and Fergus have words here. I've got a funny feeling that tonight's not going to be one of them nights, though, Ferg.
No, and listen, forget about like head rivalry and everything else. Sadly, because I don't like them either, Chelsea have improved dramatically. They've surprised me. They are the surprise side. I thought they were just a shit show, a complete mess of a side, a joke circus place. They still are, but they're better than the other circus that lacks depth, lacks quality, has a manager who I actually quite like as a man manager, but I think his stubbornness is he's going to be his downfall. Chelsea have won 4 of the last 5 visits to Spurs. Only lost 1. Spurs will go down. Chelsea will score first. Spurs' head will go down. They'll try and try. But Chelsea, I didn't know where to stop. I stopped at 2-0. 2-0 Chelsea.
Fair enough. Listen, right, just have to make a special announcement here. Arnie, BX Gunner, Gary Ward, you're on dodgy ground with them predictions. You are on real dodgy ground with them predictions, boys. Yeah, come on. You're Arsenal fans, ain't you? You're Arsenal fans. Listen,
Barry,
Chelsea,
you're in trouble as well.
yeah. Oh, Barry, you're in trouble as well. Oh, my word. half half the people watching are in trouble. But so we'll have to swallow it and forgive them all, sharpish, Ferg. Listen, right, Tottenham, Chelsea. Chelsea are going to be too good for Tottenham. Chelsea are going to be too good for Tottenham. I'm going to go with you boys and say that Tottenham are going to score a goal, but I think Chelsea are going to score 3, to be honest, and they'll cruise to that 3-1 win. And the stadium. Have you seen this week? They've actually been moaning that the atmosphere in the Tottenham Stadium has been absolutely atrocious. Well, to be honest with you, whenever I've been in there, whenever Arsenal played there, it's never been brilliant. But it's not going to be brilliant in there, Ferg, is it? I mean, the fans were hoping. The fans were hoping that a big stadium makes a big team, and nothing could be further from the truth, could it, Ferg?
Well, no. The thing is, they went from a 38,000 seater stadium to a 62,000 seater stadium. Okay, you will have some fans who were desperate to get tickets and season tickets and everything else, and they've joined. We had it at the Emirates when we went from 38 to 60,000. It does have, and the Emirates was quiet before. Highbury was quiet before we went to the Emirates at times, but it's new people coming to it who don't know the songs. We saw it in the concourse last night. Some of the guys are trying to start some of the older songs, and a lot of the newer incoming fans don't know them and don't get them. And the way that you go to like Leeds, you go to old school stadiums, and the songs and the traditions are handed down generation over generation over generation, like what Theo's doing at the moment. And they're not going to get that when they've just had an influx of 20,000, mostly Korean tourists, I might add. But they've had, they're all there to see Son. I don't blame them. We had it when we had Park and stuff at our stadium, but they have a lot of tourists going there, and it's just going to kill the atmosphere.
Well, yeah, absolutely. For the West Ham's big stadium and Tottenham now, you can buy tickets on the day of the game. You don't even have to be a member most of the time. And they're moaning about away fans getting in the home end. Well, turn up and support your team and buy all the tickets, then the away fans won't get a look in. I'm not saying that I agree with away fans going into home parts of stadiums, but a lot of those fans that can't get tickets are born and bred, lifelong supporters of their football club, and they're desperate to watch and play. So they'll go to any levels. So yeah, sell your stadiums out, boys, and you won't have problems with that.
Theo would have put you in good books last night. He was there this morning. Sorry, Theo's getting ready for school this morning, and fair play to him. He didn't get in until 1 o'clock in this morning, so he managed it, and he got up ready. And he's getting himself sorted, and all I could hear was the Freddie song, and I was just like, wow. He just like going really, really sort of, he was like singing away, and it's like, and I'm like, he's bought into it all, and he's trying to remember these old songs. It's great.
Yeah, and you know what? He's very lucky that he gets to go. Andrew, because a lot of kids these days, they can't get to the ground. They can't watch games of football. They support from afar. But Theo's embraced it. I love the kid. I do. He properly embraces it. He's not overawed. He gets stuck in. He comes into the pub before the game and shakes all our hands. Fantastic. I love the quick kid, and I know
he's going to go to Stone Island for his 16th birthday. Just a quick shout out to Barry Byrne, who we've just seen Barry Byrne in the chat, and for several of these, I got a tap. I had my earphones like this in when I was walking down onto the underground last night, and I got a tap on my shoulder, like, "Hello, Guns and Yellow Ribbons, up the Irish," and it was Barry Byrne. So thank you, Barry. I didn't know who you were, but nice to see you last night.
Unlucky Barry. Of all the tube stations in all the world, you picked the wrong one, mate. But thanks for watching, mate. Appreciate it, Barry. Listen, I'm going for a 3-1 win for Chelsea at Tottenham. I think they'll be too good. Let's just I'm just going to bring it back down to earth. All jokes aside, Tottenham are not very good. Chelsea are very good. Simple. 3-1 win for Chelsea. Next game, right? West Ham are owned to Wolves. Do you know what? This is a very important game for one person, and that's the Wolves manager. I think if he don't get anything out of this game, Ferg is gone.
West Ham, he's got the vote of confidence that he will have his job.
The Wolves manager.
The Wolves manager. Who's the Wolves manager? Gary O'Neill.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I think he's doing okay with them. I know he's not winning; it's just not clicking. But they've been unfortunate. They've got some really good players. Like that, who's that? Gooner or whatever, the striker. He's really, really good. they're just hot and cold. You can't put your finger on them with them at all. West Ham, on the other hand, I think their manager he's doomed. He got the vote of confidence from the board and saying that he's in the job for Monday night, but I don't think he's in the job on Tuesday. But West Ham do well on a Monday night. They've won 6 of their last Premier League games on a Monday night, scoring at least 2 goals in each time. I said, because they're not on such good form, I've said they'll score 2 goals. And Wolves, maybe Gary O'Neill does go. It'll be 1 for Wolves, so 2-1.
Listen, 2-1 to West Ham, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, right. I've seen today that he's under a lot of pressure, Gary O'Neill. He's handling it really well, actually. But the fact that he handles the pressure well won't sway his board when it comes to him keeping his job. I think that Gary O'Neill needs to get a win at West Ham this weekend, or he's going to be in trouble. What do you reckon, Andy?
Oh, completely. I mean, you look that they're coming off the back of 2 games where they've shipped 4 goals in both games. So they did 4-2 to Bournemouth and lost 4-0 to Everton. That's surely no team can do it for, sort of 3 times in a row. But he's got to be really, really careful. It's unfortunately, I think if they get beat, I think he'll be done and he'll be gone. But I mean, there's a lot of pressure on West Ham as well, isn't there? So either way, either one of those games, either one of those teams lose, the manager could be gone the next morning. I think it's got a lot of riding on it for the wrong reasons. Where someone's going to lose their job.
Absolutely. What's your score then?
I do think West Ham are good. I can't say Wolves are just shipping goals for fun, and I can't see that changing. I think West Ham at home, I think they will do. We'll beat them. I am going to go 2-1 West Ham.
Yeah, so that's 2 for West Ham. Listen, right. I mean, I've got a soft spot for Everton. I don't want to see him go down. I like going there. I like their supporters. I like going and watch the game there. But Wolves, if Wolves lost 4-0 to Everton, if you lose 4-0 to Everton at the moment, you're not just having a bad day. You're not very good. You know what I mean? Because Everton are bang average. So I can't see Wolves getting anything out of this game at West Ham. But then I don't think West Ham are that good either. They're having a poor season. But I'm with you, boys. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to West Ham. Home advantage. Few Wolves fans in the home end just to give them something to talk about. And I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to West Ham. Right, we got about 10 minutes.
And you had double pie and mash tonight as well. So you got
did have double pie and mash and loads of liquor as well. Oh my God, it went down
double
well.
Pie and mash, baby.
My God, it went down well.
Before we go, Gary said "Be Jesus" needs to be sung more at the Arsenal. There's a new variation of this one. It's to do with Gabrielle. So Gabby got up and he headed it again. Gover and Gover and Gover again. Be Jesus said, Gabby, I headed so well. I think I'll go up and head it again. I think that is
brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant variation.
Whoever's caught with that needs to have a beer bought. That is quality.
Some of the real old and Arsenal fans might be a bit fed up that they've changed the words. And I can see that. I can understand that.
Yeah.
I'm an old and Arsenal fan myself, but I don't mind that. I think it's been put to good use, good tune, and hopefully we'll get all the young and singing it because it's really good. But now look, listen, I can't talk about anything more now other than the fact that I'm just going to use 3 words to introduce this. Andrew, you go first, right? We owe Fulham.
Oh yeah, big time. Definitely. We definitely owe Fulham. And I think we will go to Fulham, and I don't think we will definitely not see a repeat of last year. We will go there and we will win, and I think we will win convincingly. I can see a really good performance coming out of us, just to really keep the momentum running as well. I think it's a big game for us. We've got to go. I think every game is massive from now up until the end of the season, but we've really got to keep this momentum going. Fulham have got some players that are going to try and really sort of make put a performance in against us, aren't they? Going to try and prove wrong. I think we went through them on the train last night, Trev, didn't we? Smith Rowe, Nelson, Iwobi, somebody that they're going to really try and do. But
and
Leno, yeah. I can't. I can't. I just think we'll be too good, and we're right up it. And I think with them, with the away end, it's going to be bouncing as well, especially with that new song bounce that's going to go, because that's definitely going to happen. I'm going to go with a going to match score from last night. I'm going to go 2-0 to the Arsenal.
2-0 to the Arsenal. Listen, I'm glad you went for Arsenal. Anything other than that, you'd have been, well, I'd have just cut you off, Andrew. You'd have been gone. Ferg, listen, when I look back at last season, mate, and we lost the league by a point, didn't we? You know what I mean? And I think about last season, and there's several games where we could have had different scores. But the one that really grates me, and the one I really look at that cost us that league title, was the performance at Fulham. We started so well. We took the lead. We looked absolutely fantastic. Scored a goal and then just seemed to go off a cliff, mate. And that really grates with me because of all the games last season, that's the one where, in my head, we lost the league, Ferg.
I totally agree. It's the one I said to you. I said, look, West Ham schooled us on Boxing Day, and sometimes you get a game where somebody schools you like that. People talk about the Villa game at home as well, which, yeah, maybe because it was in that final run-in. But for me, all at the end of last season, that was the game that I came along when we were 1-0 up. Saka went 1-0 up, and Fulham came back and beat us 2-1. It was flat. I was flat as a fart. Honestly, it was. It felt awful. It was the performance that we put in. We didn't look. To be honest, we looked a little bit like this earlier in the season without Odegaard, but not as bad. I hadn't seen us look that bad under Mikel Arteta, and that was the worst performance I saw. Not long after that, we went to Dubai, and then we come back, and unfortunately that game against Villa was the one that made us knock off our perch, where I think we would have gone on to win the league. Fulham are a better team than we faced last year. They've added, like, Iwobi is like grown as a player, and I think he's loving it at Fulham. He's now got Nelson, who I don't think can play because he's on loan against us.
Yeah, of course.
They've got Smith. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, they got Smith Rowe, who is going from strength to strength there. He's getting the game time he needed. Leno, he's not done bad. He's not done bad at Fulham. I wasn't the biggest fan as a keeper when he was at Arsenal because I found he came out and punched the ball more than he caught the ball. But I think they've got some good players. Who's their main striker? Who's the guy?
Robinson. Oh, no. Robinson, no.
No.
Yeah, Iwobi's their top goal scorer, isn't he?
Yeah, but listen, I still think it's going to be a difficult game. Arsenal B when they're at home, Arsenal D when they're away, against Stoke. Seriously, I think Arsenal are going to win 3-1.
Yeah,
Jimenez, that's the one, Barry. Thank you. Yeah, it was Jimenez.
Do you know what's going to be key for me, boys? I'm watching it now. I've got it on in the background, and he's playing really well. You know, how is Smith Rowe going to go against us? If he decides he's going to go out on that field and try and make a point and try and really show Arsenal what they're missing, he could have a blinder. And it does worry me a little bit because that boy is capable of anything. Andrew?
No, I do agree. I mean, he's got a point to prove, hasn't he, to come out and do something against us. I mean, it'd be horrible to watch him score against us. You know, I don't think he'll celebrate. Because I don't think he wanted to leave. Anyway. But
Trev, what do you think on how Smith Rowe's not reception, but how the Arsenal faithful and away fans? What are we going to have a rendition of Saka and Emil Smith Rowe at some point?
Do you know what? I don't know. It's maybe after the game, Ferg. It might be a bit bitching if we've won. I think before the game, there'll be a lot of Arsenal fans in the same boots as we are, nervous thinking about last season.
Yeah.
Please don't let us do it again. Let's just concentrate on winning the game. I don't think he'll need to worry about his celebration because I don't think he'll score. When I mention Smith Rowe, I'm just expanding the conversation, and he needs talking about Smith Rowe because he's a player that will always have my respect. The young kids, you know, but I don't think he'll score. I don't think Fulham will be good enough. I'm hoping that I'm sure that Arteta will use last season's defeat there to G up our players, folk.
Yeah, I think he's got to. Fulham are unbeaten in 8 London derbies, winning 4, drawn 4. The last time their run ended was actually a 3-1 defeat, which is the score I predicted, to a team they call Arsenal. I think Arteta will use a light bulb, will use whatever prop he needs in that dressing room to come along and say, pointing up towards where we are, and say, you cannot put a performance in to those on front of those fans like you did last year, because that was the worst performance I've seen of Arsenal last year.
Yeah,
I do think last year we scored too early. We scored. It was about 5th minute, wasn't it?
Listen, we've done that before. We could have done it against Man United last night. I know it was disallowed because of VAR, but it doesn't matter. We score early, then people panic because our defensive line is very good. We've got the set pieces that we're very good at, and we're very good at playing football. So scoring early is not a problem. There was a psychological barrier with them. I don't know if they all went on the piss for Christmas or whatever, but they were not. They were not at the game last Boxing Day or whatever it was.
Do you know what, Ferg? You took the thoughts right out of my head then, mate. I was just thinking exactly the same. It was a strange old day because we started off flying, scored an early goal, and that is no excuse for them not playing very well. And I was thinking maybe they went out for their Christmas dinner the night before. Maybe they had a bit of dodgy lasagna or something last year. Who knows, you know? But yeah, we can't be doing that again. We can't be doing that again because unlike last year, we are now 7 points behind the leaders, and we need to go on a run of wins because I'm sure that Liverpool are going to drop points. And if we go on a run, we're going to catch them. And it wouldn't surprise me, you know, if the way it's going, if at the end of the season, it wasn't between us and Chelsea. Honestly, I honestly believe that.
I do think Chelsea are in the mix.
I'm very impressed with Chelsea. We can't say they're not in the mix, Ferg. They're playing very well and they're right up there, you know. So we can't say they're not in the mix. But we're going back to tomorrow. I'm going to go for a 4-0 win. Excuse me, going back to Sunday, isn't it? Going back to Sunday, I'm going for a 4-0 win to the Arsenal. I think we'll learn from last year. I think we'll come off last night's game buzzing. I don't know if Gabriel will be back. Calafiori could be back. This sounds harsh. I'm not overly worried about Calafiori because we have really good other options there. But I do think I'd like to see Gabriel back, you know. Because
I'm just looking at the team from last year as well.
Eddie again. Jover and Jover and Jover again. Jesus said, Gabby, I heard it so well.
I think I'll get up on it again. Jover and Jover and Jover again.
Wonderful. Whoever thought that deserves a medal. Right, so we're all in agreement. We're going to knock the stuffing out of Fulham. We're going to beat them in the early kickoff. It's not even a game, really. We've just made a case for Fulham because that's what we have to do on a preview show. So that's it. We've covered all the games. Ferg, anything else you want to talk about, my son?
No, I just want to see Bournemouth win 4-0. And,
Absolutely.
you know, I've lasted longer than 45 minutes. So, you know, I'm in the challenging position.
Oh,
no,
he's not been, has he?
I'm just wiggling a lot. I'm just wiggling a lot.
I guarantee you, Andrew, there's a puddle on the floor beneath.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, there is.
Right?
We can see how red he's going. Look, he's starting to go now. He's starting to get a bit desperate. So I think we should just keep talking for another 5 minutes. Just see how long we can keep this going for.
We will have a 2-minute chat, Ferg, but I think it's time to press the button, son.
Yeah, this is from last night. This was at the Emirates last night. Have a listen to this.
Wow.
Thank you, Laith from Gooner Debate. Trevor, you know what I loved about that? The fact that you go to Anfield and they pump it out and the speakers are loud. They start us off just to cue everyone up together. And within about 3 lines or 3 or 4 words of that song starting, the speakers go down and it's all the fans.
It's just the fans. And the Man United fans did their best to be heard above us last night. But they didn't have a chance. I was so proud of the way that we sung North London Forever, you know. And we've got to remember as well that our anthem is about us. We can all relate. Every Arsenal fan on this planet can relate to our anthem. we're not singing about blue moons that mean absolutely nothing, really. We're not talking about You'll Never Walk Alone, because what's You'll Never Walk Alone got to do with a football match? Absolutely nothing.
It's a funeral song.
North London Forever, sung by the fans, about the fans, at that club, for
Written
that
by
club.
a fan.
I love
Written
it.
by a fan and
Written
pushed by the
fan,
fans.
sung by a fan.
And my brother Rory came along and sent that to me before it got into the main mix. He said this will be an anthem for Arsenal. And Dermot, when he went to the Man United game last year, he heard us singing it, and he said, and since heard it again last night, and he went, it's just absolutely amazing. He said it's really, really powerful. It is tingling, and that's from an opposition fan.
It is tingling, and what I said it about earlier about other clubs' fans, they'll have a go at us about it because of one reason and one reason only. They're jealous. They're absolutely jealous. Tottenham Hotspur have even started trying to put a trumpeter up on top of the.
Oh, that's fucking embarrassing. Honestly,
I haven't seen that. What's that?
They got this guy with it like, oh, when the Saints. Oh, when it's not even their song. It's bloody Southampton song.
It's absolutely hilarious. It really is. But
it's
anyway,
embarrassing.
Andrew, how have you thought? If you like your first one of these tonight, mate?
I loved it. Yeah, it's been great. I really enjoyed doing these with you guys. It's great. It's great fun. Just talking to everybody and talking everything football, which is what I love and the passion of it, and just being with your mates and having a beer and having a chat and watching Ferg try not to leak all over the floor.
That's why I'm not drinking so much beer.
Wonderful. Listen. I'm going to say good night. Thank you to the 200 and odd people that are watching at this very moment. If you can go across to YouTube and subscribe, we'd very much appreciate it. I think we've earned about £4 in the last couple of months out of it.
£3 and a penny.
£3 and a penny in the last couple of months. So,
we'll oversell it.
If you can go across there, we'd very much appreciate it. I hope you enjoy what we do. If you do enjoy what we do, drop us a message and let us know. If you don't enjoy what we do or you think we could improve, also drop us a message, because at the end of the day, we're just 3 or 4 people talking about what we love doing, supporting our great football club. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to leave it to Ferg to finish off, because at the end of the day, Fergus is our chief. Fergus is our leader. I love the man. Ferg, close us down, mate.
Oh, that feels better.
Don't push your luck. Don't push your luck.
This is actually your show.
Dying to do that for ages.
It was always your concept, but I wasn't up for it. I thought, I'm not just stick to talking Arsenal, but I actually, every time I do these ones, I really enjoy them. And as Andrew said, it's all about just with your mates having a beer and talking football. And you are right, we are just fans. Barry, who I bumped into on the tube, I'm the same as him. I'm good at football, having a beer. Trev, you're the same. We're all that same. So, yeah, if you do like what we do, spread it around among your friends. Trevor, we didn't talk about the guy when we do that little video. There's a guy who was walking past on Blackstock Road, and he stopped and went, oh. I saw the two of us doing the little video that we done beforehand, and he nearly came in to shake our hands. Then he realized we're doing the video. Then he went to take a photograph. Then he went, oh, I'm leaving. But it's nice to see genuine fans and not people who want to like selfies and stuff. I don't know when we get some of that, but especially with your tats out.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with my tats, son. Nothing wrong.
I thought he was going to do it then. I thought he was going to jump.
Yeah,
I
did.
Up then. I literally thought, here we go.
My Arsenal fans.
We're too refined on this show to do any of that nonsense. Let me.
Sorry, for Arsenal fans. Up the Arsenal. Fuck the Spurs.
Come on.
Thanks for listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons or Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too. Up the Arsenal.